Let's shine the spotlight on the Los Angeles Rams, a franchise of firsts, innovators, and icons, and a team that's called three cities home. From their beginnings in Cleveland to their Hollywood years in Los Angeles to a championship run in St. Louis, and then back to LA, the Rams have been defined by bold moves and unforgettable stars. They were the first NFL team to put logos on helmets, the first to integrate their roster, and one of the most daring franchises in building for the future. But here's the question. With their return to Los Angeles and a Super Bowl already won in their new era, are the Rams building the NFL's next great dynasty, or are they destined for another cycle of peaks and valleys? You're watching Spotlight Stories NFL, where every team has a story and we put them under the spotlight. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Rams story is one of the most fascinating in NFL history, a franchise that has called three different cities home and carved out legendary chapters in each. The Rams were founded in 1936 in Cleveland, where they became champions of the NFL in 1945, before abruptly relocating to Los Angeles the following year. That move was historic. The Rams were the first major professional sports franchise on the West Coast, opening the door for the NFL's expansion into California. Their arrival in LA came with another groundbreaking moment. In 1946, they signed Kenny Washington and Woody Strode, making them the first team in the modern NFL to integrate African-American players. A year before, Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier with the Dodgers. The Rams quickly became known for star power and innovation. They enjoyed success in the 1950s, appearing in two NFL championship games and captivating Los Angeles with explosive offenses led by Norm Van Brocklin, Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, and Tom Fears. By the 1960s, the Rams were defined by the fearsome foursome, one of the most legendary defensive lines in football history, featuring Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen. Jones coined the term sack, and together with Olsen, Rosie Greer, and Lamar Lundy, they terrorized opposing quarterbacks. The Rams moved to Anaheim Stadium in 1980, hoping to capture a larger fan base in Orange County, but by the 1990s, financial struggles and stadium disputes saw ownership looking elsewhere. In 1995, the Rams relocated to St. Louis, leaving Los Angeles without an NFL team for the first time in nearly 50 years. St. Louis gave the franchise a new lease on life. At first, the Rams struggled, but within a few seasons, head coach Dick Vermeil and the offensive coordinator Mike Martz unleashed the greatest show on turf. With Kurt Warner at quarterback, Marshall Faulk in the backfield, and receivers Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, the Rams built one of the most explosive offenses the NFL has ever seen. Their pinnacle came in Super Bowl 34, 1999 season, when Warner's game-winning touchdown pass to Bruce and Mike Jones's legendary last-second tackle sealed a 23-16 victory over the Tennessee Titans. It was the Rams' first Super Bowl win and one of the most dramatic endings in NFL history. They returned to the Super Bowl 2 years later, but in Super Bowl 36, they were stunned by Tom Brady and the underdog New England Patriots, a game that marked the beginning of the Patriots dynasty. The Rams remained in St. Louis until 2015, but attendance declined as ownership pressed for a new stadium deal. When one didn't materialize, the NFL approved the franchise's return to Los Angeles in 2016, with Stan Kroenke leading the move. The Rams' return was a major shift for the NFL, restoring pro football to the country's second-largest market after a 21-year absence. Since their return, the Rams have leaned into their Hollywood identity, quickly building a contender under young head coach Sean McVay. In 2018, they reached the Super Bowl behind Jared Goff, Aaron Donald, and Todd Gurley before falling to the Patriots. But just 3 years later, in Super Bowl 56, 2021 season, the Rams captured glory again, with Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald leading the way. The Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. Fun fact number 1. Did you know the Rams are the only franchise to win championships in 3 different cities? The Rams won the 1945 NFL Championship in Cleveland, the 1999 Super Bowl 34 in St. Louis, and the 2021 Super Bowl 56 back in Los Angeles, making them the only team in league history to claim titles in 3 different home cities. The Rams' uniforms are among the most iconic in the NFL thanks to their helmet horns. Originally hand-painted in 1948, the horns became the first true football helmet logo and have endured ever since. The Rams' colors have shifted through time: royal blue and yellow in Los Angeles, navy and gold in St. Louis, and a modernized blue and yellow palette since their return to Los Angeles. Their bold redesign in 2020 drew mixed reviews at first, but the horned helmets remain one of the most recognizable looks in football. As for stadiums, the Rams have played in some of football's most famous venues. They called the Los Angeles Coliseum home for decades, then moved to Anaheim Stadium in the 1980s. In St. Louis, they played in the Trans World Dome, later Edward Jones Dome, where they became Super Bowl champions. Today, the Rams play in the spectacular SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, a $5 billion ultra-modern arena shared with the Chargers. Opened in 2020, it has already hosted a Super Bowl 56 and is set to host the Olympics and World Cup matches. Fun fact number 2, did you know the Rams were the first NFL team to put a logo on their helmets? In 1948, halfback Fred Guerka, who was also an art student, hand-painted ram horns on his leather helmet. It was the first time a team used a logo on helmets, a tradition that revolutionized football branding and has become iconic to this day. The Rams' history is packed with legendary high points spanning multiple cities and generations of football. The franchise's first golden moment came in 1945 when the Cleveland Rams won the NFL championship by defeating the Washington Redskins 15-14. It was the franchise's first title, and just weeks later, they shocked the league by announcing their move to Los Angeles, forever altering the geography of pro football. Once in Los Angeles, the Rams became known for innovation and star power. In the 1950s, the team captured the city's imagination with a high-powered passing attack led by quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, receiver Tom Fears, and Hall of Famer Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. Together, they created one of the NFL's first aerial assaults, bringing excitement and championships to Los Angeles, including the 1951 NFL title, won with a dramatic last-minute touchdown from Van Brocklin to Fears, the Rams' first championship on the West Coast. The next legendary chapter came in the 1960s when the fearsome foursome emerged as one of the most dominant defensive lines in NFL history, anchored by Deacon Jones, who coined the term sack, and Merlin Olsen, the Hall of Fame defensive tackle. The unit terrorized offenses and became the blueprint for defensive line dominance. Even though they never won a Super Bowl together, their influence on the game remains unmatched. The 1980s saw the rise of one of the NFL's greatest running backs, Eric Dickerson. In 1984, Dickerson rushed for 2,105 yards, breaking the single-season rushing record, a mark that still stands today. His upright running style, breakaway speed, and durability made him a nightmare for defenses, and his record-setting season is considered one of the greatest feats in NFL history. The Rams' crowning glory came in St. Louis when head coach Dick Vermeil and offensive coordinator Mike Martz created the legendary offense known as the greatest show on turf. With Kurt Warner's fairy tale rise from grocery store clerk to MVP quarterback, Marshall Faulk redefining the running back position as a dual-threat weapon, and wideouts Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt stretching defenses, the Rams lit up the scoreboard like no team before. In the 1999 season, they won Super Bowl 34, defeating the Tennessee Titans 23-16 in one of the most dramatic finishes in NFL history, with linebacker Mike Jones making the tackle at the 1-yard line to preserve the victory. Warner was named Super Bowl MVP, and the Rams' offense became the standard for modern passing attacks. Their return to Los Angeles brought another high point in the modern era. Under head coach Sean McVay, the Rams quickly became contenders, reaching Super Bowl 53 in 2018 before losing to New England, but just 3 years later, they completed their Hollywood story. In Super Bowl 56, 2021 season, the Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20 inside their brand-new home, SoFi Stadium. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp, who had just completed one of the greatest receiving seasons in NFL history, was named Super Bowl MVP after catching the game-winning touchdown. Defensive superstar Aaron Donald sealed the victory with a pressure that forced Joe Burrow's final incompletion. The championship was validation for the Rams' bold strategy of trading away draft picks for proven stars like Donald, Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, and Matthew Stafford. A high-risk, high-reward formula that paid off in front of their home fans. Fun fact number 3, did you know the greatest show on turf almost never happened? In 1999, starting quarterback Trent Green tore his ACL in the preseason. Backup Kurt Warner, who had been stocking shelves at a grocery store just years earlier, stepped in and led the Rams to a Super Bowl title. Without that injury, Warner may never have gotten his shot. The Rams' history has also been filled with lows. After early success in Cleveland and Los Angeles, the team endured decades of playoff disappointments, often falling just short of the Super Bowl. The move from Los Angeles to St. Louis in 1995 left California fans bitter, while the eventual move back to Los Angeles in 2016 did the same to St. Louis. Few franchises have experienced as much relocation turmoil. Even on the field, the Rams have endured rough stretches. After their Super Bowl 36 loss to the Patriots in 2001, the greatest show on turf quickly unraveled. By the mid-2000s, the Rams became one of the league's worst teams, suffering through a 15-65 record from 2007 to 2011. The team's instability at quarterback, constant coaching changes, and poor drafts made them perennial cellar dwellers before Sean McVay's arrival reignited the franchise. The Rams' all-time icons span generations. On defense, Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen of the fearsome foursome remain legends, with Olsen later becoming a beloved broadcaster and actor. On offense, Eric Dickerson's record-setting career is still unmatched. In St. Louis, Kurt Warner went from grocery store stock boy to Super Bowl MVP, while Marshall Faulk redefined the running back position as a dual threat. Wideouts Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt remain one of the most prolific duos in NFL history. In the modern era, Aaron Donald is regarded as one of the greatest defensive players in NFL history, while Cooper Kupp authored one of the best receiving seasons ever in 2021. Head coach Sean McVay, hired at just 30 years old, became the youngest head coach in modern NFL history and delivered a Super Bowl within 5 seasons. Fun fact number 4. Did you know the Rams once employed 2 future TV stars on the same team? Hall of Famer Merlin Olsen of the fearsome foursome went on to star in Little House on the Prairie and Father Murphy, while defensive end Rosie Greer became a singer, actor, and even a bodyguard for Robert F. Kennedy. The Rams' coaching history reflects the franchise's constant reinvention, from tactical innovators in the early years to defensive masterminds to offensive visionaries who reshaped the modern game. The team's first head coach was Damon "Buzz" Wetzel in 1937, followed by Dutch Clark, who guided the Cleveland Rams through their early struggles. But it was Adam Walsh who led them to their first championship in 1945, before the franchise packed up and moved to Los Angeles the following year. In Los Angeles, the Rams found stability under Clark Shaughnessy and Hamp Poole, but the most influential early figure was Sid Gilman, 1955 to 1959. Gilman is remembered as one of the fathers of the modern passing game, pioneering deep passing concepts and vertical spacing that influenced generations of coaches. His offensive philosophy laid the groundwork for legends like Don Coryell and Bill Walsh. The 1960s brought George Allen to the sidelines, 1966 to 1970. Allen built the Rams into a consistent winner and laid the foundation for the fearsome foursome defense. Though he never reached a championship with L.A., his reputation as a defensive strategist earned him a Hall of Fame legacy. In the 1970s, Chuck Knox took the reins, 1973 to 1977. Known as Ground Chuck for his smash-mouth rushing style, Knox led the Rams to 5 straight playoff appearances, including an NFC championship berth. The team came close multiple times, but a Super Bowl still eluded them. The 1980s and early 90s saw a mix of stability and disappointment. Chun Robinson, 1983 to 1991, coached the Rams to 6 playoff appearances, including an NFC championship game in 1989 behind Eric Dickerson's brilliance. Robinson's tenure was one of the more successful stretches in franchise history, though it still ended without a Lombardi trophy. The move to St. Louis in 1995 gave the franchise a new start, and with it came one of its most memorable coaches, Dick Vermeil. Known for his emotional leadership, Vermeil came out of retirement in 1997 to guide the Rams. In his 3rd season, he shocked the football world by turning journeyman quarterback Kurt Warner and the Rams' high-flying offense into Super Bowl 34 champions. Vermeil retired immediately after the win, handing the team to offensive coordinator Mike Martz, who continued the greatest show on turf era. Martz reached another Super Bowl in 2001, though his Rams were stunned by the New England Patriots, marking the start of the Brady-Belichick dynasty. After the Martz years, the Rams spiraled through instability. Coaches like Scott Linehan, Steve Spagnuolo, and Jeff Fisher oversaw some of the darkest years in franchise history. From 2007 to 2011, the Rams went 15-65, often finishing among the league's worst. Fisher, despite his long tenure, failed to deliver results and was dismissed in 2016 after the team returned to Los Angeles. The franchise's fortunes changed dramatically in 2017 when the Rams hired Sean McVay at just 30 years old, the youngest head coach in modern NFL history. McVay immediately transformed the Rams into contenders, guiding them to the playoffs in his first season. By his second year, the Rams reached Super Bowl 53, and 3 seasons later, McVay delivered a championship in Super Bowl 56. Known for his offensive creativity, energy, and ability to connect with players, McVay has become the face of the Rams' modern era. Fun fact number 5. Did you know Deacon Jones invented the term sack, but it wasn't an official stat? Defensive end. Deacon Jones, the leader of the fearsome foursome, coined the term sack to describe tackling the quarterback. Unfortunately, sacks weren't recorded as an official statistic until 1982, long after Jones retired, so his incredible totals remain unofficial. The Rams went into the 2025 NFL Draft intent on adding weapons for Sean McVay's offense and fresh talent to the defense, and their 6-pick class reflected that focus. With their top selection in the second round, Los Angeles grabbed Terrence Ferguson, a tight end, out of Oregon. Ferguson's combination of size, athleticism, and reliable hands gives the Rams another versatile pass-catching option who can create mismatches in the middle of the field. In the third round, the Rams turned to defense with Josiah Stewart, an explosive edge rusher from Michigan known for his high motor and ability to pressure quarterbacks, though he will need development to grow into a starting role. On day 3, the Rams found depth and upside across several positions with their fourth-round pick. They selected Jarquez Hunter, a running back from Auburn, whose power running style and receiving ability make him a natural fit in a rotation. In the 5th round, Los Angeles doubled up on defense by drafting Ty Hamilton, a defensive lineman from Ohio State who brings size and physicality to the trenches, and Chris Paul Jr., a linebacker from Ole Miss with solid instincts and tackling ability. Finally, in the 7th round, the Rams closed their draft with Kanata Mumfield, a wide receiver from Pittsburgh, who offers speed and potential as a deep ball threat, while also projecting as a contributor on special teams. In total, the Rams' 2025 draft was about balance. Ferguson and Hunter should give immediate help to the offense, while Stewart, Hamilton, and Paul Jr. reinforce the defensive depth chart. Mumfield adds a developmental piece with upside in the passing game. Analysts praised the class for its fit within McVay's system, noting that while it may lack headline stars, it provides solid value and depth for a roster that needs both to stay competitive in a brutal NFC West. From Cleveland beginnings to Hollywood lights, from St. Louis glory to a triumphant return in Los Angeles, the Rams' story is one of bold moves, legendary players, and resilience. They've given us the fearsome foursome, Eric Dickerson, the greatest show on turf, and a Hollywood ending in Super Bowl 56. The question now is simple. Can the Rams build another dynasty in Los Angeles, or will the cycle of highs and lows define their future once again? Don't forget to like and subscribe to Spotlight Stories NFL, where every team has a story and we put them under the spotlight.